right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we turn to the east. Give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Peace and blessings to the whole family elect that's listening and learning, the Akim and the Akwath. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that's been teaching us this truth. Much respect to the Gabars out there in the highways and hedges, spreading this truth, bidding Yashra to the marriage, also making videos of edification, and salutations to the whole family elect that be under the speckled bird, as says in the book of Jeremiah. I have here with me two guests, beautiful brothers, very, very diligent. I have Ak Bayan and Akte Yasharala.
Shalom, Yasharala.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
And tonight, I should say, I'm not sure if many have seen it, but for those who have seen, there's a video surfacing out there, and a lot of elders and like-minded men, brothers in this truth have touched on it. And so I think collaboration between IUIC and the African diaspora, that guy named Phil. Yeah. So as you see the title, Phil something. Phil something. Scott. Is this Phil Scott?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Phil Scott. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be picking the meat out of the bones, which that's why the title is called that, because there's a lot of meat that hasn't been, I should say a lot of scriptures that haven't been broken down properly. And there's a lot of meat in these scriptures that have been withheld. So I'm going to open up with Isaiah 8:20. And it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in him. In a lot of these camps, IUIC Sakari, Watchmen for Israel, so on and so forth, have been not teaching according to this word. All right. They haven't been breaking down scriptures correctly. They haven't been edifying the sheep correctly, doing what the Lord says to do, entering that straight gate and breaking down the word, dividing the word the way it's supposed to be. So I believe Bayan has that video.
Oh, so,
if you could share it. I can share it too.
Well, yeah, go ahead and share it. I ain't even. Yeah, I actually had another piece of information.
Oh, you know what? You want to put that in first?
I think that'll be for the middle part for that video to go hand in hand with that. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on your platform, so whenever we get ready, we can share it.
God, we try to see if I can share this file.
But I can go ahead and pull up the video for you if you want me to.
I think I could do it. Let me see. Share it. Share screen. Tab.
Make sure you put that volume tab too. Click that little volume box at the bottom left.
Well, on the video. Share audio.
Let me see.
Oh, share audio.
Share
right?
audio. That's what I'm talking about. Share audio. Yeah.
See if y'all can see it. It's coming on now. Can y'all see it?
Let me see.
I don't see it on my end. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
All right, y'all can see it. All right. See if I can share that to the stream.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends on what point you want to start it at, because he had some. I mean, he told the truth about a lot of stuff, but like you said earlier, he definitely withheld some information.
He told very partial truth.
Yeah.
And like the truth that he put out, he did a lot of pandering to Phil's, platform. He fitted that African diaspora type of, vibe. He didn't really bring the whole truth of the word out, because it would have cut that whole we African, we Hamites type of spirit. You know, and that lets you know he don't preach the word for truth's sake. He preaching for filthy lucre's sake.
God.
We're going to play the video because I'm going after when you done. I'm gonna pull a
Lucre.
precept.
All right,
Got you. All right. I'm starting off from the beginning. I'm gonna start from here.
Hey, you can make the
All right, here we go.
video go like full screen if you want to.
Today we here with a familiar friend of the
Let me see.
Taking up his time for all his travels all over.
See if I can do that.
Taking up his time
The world, spreading the message.
all his
So Bishop Nathaniel, thank you
his travels all over
on the show.
Can I see that on the screen yet?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, we looking at it.
There we go.
Good to see you again. Good to see you too, Phil.
So Bishop Nathaniel, thank you for joining the show.
Thanks for having me back. It's a pleasure.
All right.
Look like Jeremiah got booted off or something.
Yeah, he probably clicked this up out of there.
We still live
playing
though.
kind of choppy too. Was it playing choppy on your end?
Yep, it was. Let me see. He'll probably jump back in real quick.
They said like looking at that video, Yasharala, they were showing Nate. He was talking on the Phil Scott show, and he was basically preaching the gospel of saying like, basically we're African, we're Hamites, like we're the Africans that got sold into slave. He was, further perpetuating that lie instead of like making a distinction that we're Israelites and the Africans, they are Hamites, because those are some of our enemies. Because if you really think about it, Yasharala, the Hamites, your so-called Africans, sold us into slavery. So we shouldn't make a distinction to trying to say we are those people, because that right there breeds a lot of confusion and it's really gonna like throw you way off on your loop. I think that's why a lot of our people going to Hotel Comedic.
Yep, it is.
Like Umar Johnson, they go Jeremiah preaching that
Salak
kind
of kicked off.
Yeah, and when you was playing the video, it was playing real choppy.
It was. Yeah, so messy. It was working fine.
Yeah, he trying to stop this good edification going out.
Yeah, Esau. Esau.
I'm gonna bring it out though, because I said that there was something that he didn't do, which the camps and the like-minded men of GMS always do before we start a lesson. This is Sirach, chapter 43, and I'm starting at verse 28. And it says, "How shall we be able to magnify him?" Speaking of Yahweh, "for he is great above all his works. The Lord is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power." Now here's the point, verse 30. "When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can.
Mm-hmm.
For even yet will he far exceed, and when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough." So as you know, Akim and Akwath, before we start a lesson, we give all praises to who? We give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Now these are the correct names in the Paleo Hebrew. We always supposed to give praises to Yahweh through the Son Yahweh Shai and through the Spirit of wisdom, which gives us the knowledge and understanding of the word, which is the Ruach Kodash. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
continue.
Yeah,
you got any precepts to throw up before I started?
I could. I'm gonna throw out that Matthew before we open it up, and this is Matthew 15 and 14. "Let them alone; they be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. And so Nate, like you read the precept earlier, Nate has no light in him. He's a blind leader. He doesn't have eyes. He doesn't see. Plus, IUIC doesn't come in the spirit of prophecy at all. Because they say, they don't even know what the mark of the beast is. And Nate Rimmer, at one point, he was denying Jacob's trouble. So he was going totally off on prophecy, and none of his people, our congregation, are prepared for what's to come. Because they're all just stuck on this Hebrew Israelite spirit, like, and this festive spirit. Because they're in the house of feasting. He doesn't come in the house of mourning. So they're not prepared. They're really partying over there. Just on the fact that they're Hebrew Israelite. And like I said, Nate doesn't have the proper breakdowns because he has no light in him. So he's a blind leader. And because he's blind, his whole congregation, they stay with him at the times we're going into, they're all going to fall in the ditch, which is their grave. Like, they're not even preparing themselves and armoring up for Jacob's trouble, which, Aqua, we're fast approaching that right now. So with that right there, if you think about it, he's just like a plantation Christianity pastor, Pastor Porkchop. He has his whole sheep because he's blind, they're blind. So when Jacob's trouble comes upon them, those men are not going to be ready to withstand, the wiles of the devil. They're not going to be prepared for, when the military troops get active, really they're going to go into a panic mode. They're going to bug out, just like people of the world. And it's because he didn't properly edify them, which edification goes to build up. They're not built up with the correct things they need in order to be prudent, should I say. They're not prudent man over there because Nate is not wise. So, like the precept said, you fall into a ditch. That ditch, we know Akim is that grave. And that man, he got a lot of blood on his hands for not preaching the truth. Because he's leading his sheep astray.
All right. Yeah, I also got a precept just to back both of y'all up on this one too, man. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 16. And it said, these 6 things doeth the Lord Yahweh hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, as you can see through watching this video, Nate had a proud look. A lying tongue, he lied to the on his page, and the hand that shed innocent blood. That goes back to some incident that IUIC had where they linked two couples together, and the man, he basically knocked off the woman or whatever. That going back to that story with IUIC, and then he said in verse 18, he said, "In a heart that devises wicked imagination, feet that be swift into running to mischief." Verse 19, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Okay, and then going back to that false witness that speaketh lies, IUIC always bring up that bring up the fact that GMS, they always bring up that rape doctrine. They teach them rape or the men of Great Millstone is, are rapists and stuff like that, practice that wickedness, and that's false witness that speak lies, man, and they sowing discord among brethren. Okay, they telling those lies just to get the sheep of Israel to drive them away from the 100% of the doctrine, just like the men of Great Millstone always preaching. So that I just want to bring that precept out because his whole congregation fit all 6 of those things that the Lord actually hates, and the Lord said it's an abomination. So just like Tay Yasharala just brought up, let them alone, let be blind leaders of the blind. When the Lord says something is an abomination, well, guess what? That's gonna lead them right to the ditch. So yeah, you got it, Doctor.
And that's beautiful that you brought that out, because to back you up about them being blind leaders of the blind, and also sowing discord and things like that. When it comes to like men like Nate, that's under a contract, that's basically a contract. These contracts are like basically it's a covenant to be a liar. It's a covenant to go against the scriptures. So check this out. Proverbs 29:12. If a ruler, and in this case, Bishop Nathaniel is the ruler of the congregation of IUIC. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. And that's what, and that goes back to what you said when you brought up the guy that committed murder. You know what I'm saying? Because you have all these vile spirits in this congregation because you have a leader that's hearkening to lies. So if the leader is spreading out these lies and profanities against the gospel, you know what I'm saying? A spirit of wickedness is going to be, be among the congregation as well.
Yeah,
So I want
I
to
got a
mention
precept just to back you up on that too, because man, that's a spirit right there, man. Because that's how you know they're taking on the spirit of Esau, all right? Because this scripture would normally apply to Esau because, but when Nate actually allowed those lies to spread it throughout this congregation. So this is Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 4. It said, "Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doeth never go forth, for the wicked do compass about the righteous. Therefore the wrong judgment proceeded." Okay, so
Mm.
that wrong judgment, so basically because he's listening unto those lies like you brought up, that means he can't make a righteous judgment. So and that spreads out through this whole congregation. So I just wanted to
Con.
back you up on that.
Yep, con.
And then another thing I want to chime in on, the back ox point out beautifully fits old Deacon of Sakari, because Alazar went off, making them little crazy blasphemy statements. It made his second in command, Deacon. Remember, he came on the thing with his black love hat on, and he went off to like the highest degree I've ever seen, like straight embarrassed himself. And that's because his head, who's supposed to be the leader of their group, Alazar, set him up to go off like that. Because he had already went off on so much stuff. Like he making dude go off and look like a fool in front of everybody. Like you can just see that there's no oil and no light in these other camps.
And that's beautiful. I got some precept on Miss Deacon Sakari, the Khan Sikari, Check this out. This is First Timothy chapter 3 in verse I'm gonna start at verse 7. It says, "Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil." So what's that good report? That means he has to be able to break down these scriptures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully dividing the word of truth. Check this out. Verse 8 says, "Likewise must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued." The word of the Bible is not God, but God's, come on, man.
That's spot on, man. That's spot on with
Likewise,
him, man. Perfect precept.
Verse 8 says, "Likewise must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued, not given too much wine, not greedy of filthy lucre." Woo! Check this out. Verse 10 says, "And let these also first be proved." So before a deacon becomes a deacon, he has to be tried first. He has to be proved. You have to try the spirits. You know what I'm saying? Before a person even gets a title like that. It says, "And let these also first be proved. Then let them use the office of a deacon, being found blameless." So that means you can't have no misunderstanding of the scriptures. First of all, and first of all, you have to have what? The proper breakdown, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through this word, studying to show thyself approved. And then you have to do the work of the Lord that through sincerity and truth. It says, "What? Woe to them that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully."
Yeah.
That's what Sakari's doing. That's what IUIC is doing, so on and so forth, man. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is basically flipping the script, man. Taking away their wisdom, taking away their oil.
God, they are, man. And I got a precept that's gonna back up everything you said beautifully. They doing it for a reason. It's the reason behind them going off. It's like you said. It shows their carnality. And it shows they're looking to like use this word for gang's sake. To increase their profits. And this is Titus 1:10. "For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they are not for filthy lucre's sake. And see, we always talk about that filthy lucre, which goes into money. And I noticed with these other camps that go off, their main objective is always to increase, their money, increase their profits. Like the one we showing now, we highlight like Nate. He goes off a lot because he has that contract. He got that 501c3. So he always has to protect, his investment. Otherwise, trying to keep, the righteous word and, like you say, rightly divine the word. So he doesn't look to keep the office of Yahweh Bashar Shah pure. He looks to go ahead and fill his lust and preach his word for gain, for profit. Like he just like Joel Osteen. If you think about it, Joel Osteen, to me, I don't think you can call that dude a pastor, man. That's a motivational speaker. Like he always going off how he feel, and he's always into people's feelings. And you look how much money like Joel Osteen made. He fill up a whole football stadium full of people because he panders to their feelings. I notice they're people persons, man. They looking to, please, and they want to prophesy smooth things. They don't want to bring up, stuff that's really gonna cut people and really they don't really look to edify the hopeful elect. They look for, how to make people open up their checkbook. And because of that, I notice when that's your main motivation, you're gonna go off in this word. Because you're not sincere no longer. You're no longer sincere. Now you're a hireling because you're doing it for the money. That's why I love how the Most High used the hireling and the good shepherd, because the hireling do it for the money, the good shepherd do it for the love of the sheep,
man. Yep.
Because then the Most High said, give charity. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. That goes into teaching this word in its proper context. That's how you show, love. That's how you love your neighbor. Not, I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear so you can pay me. That's almost like player talk or pimp talk. That's how they do a woman, man. That's how you kill somebody's job. So that's pastor pulpit pimping. IUIC, Sakari, like these other groups, they're no different. That's all they're doing. Pulpit pimping in order, to feed their lust. And I noticed they want to be magnified here in Babylon. They want a high office. That's why if you think about Sakari Alazar, he was telling Apostle Har to throw down the plow because he wants his office. He wants to be worthy of double honor when he doesn't do or put in the work that Apostle Tahar does. And us sheep, we can see right through that because we have eyes. Our eyes are blessed. So no means will that happen or he's going to get what he wants. I don't care how much he cry or try to, bad mouth Apostle Tahar talking about he too old and put down the plow. Like, man, you do not rule well or teach well. Therefore, you are not worthy of double honors.
Man. Another thing about that too.
Go ahead, you got it.
Another thing about that too is like going back to what you said: love thy neighbor as you love thyself. You basically telling Apostle Tahar to take his hand off the plow. That's committing suicide, man. Because the scriptures say what? Strive for truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for you. This is why it says that he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. So if you want to just drop the plow, you might as well just blow your brains out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I got two precepts on what Tayatology brought up, because Nate is basically doing it for filthy lucre's sake, right? So that's more proof that he's actually in love with money. So this is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some conveyed after they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through many sorrows. Okay, so Nate is basically he's being brought down low, and it's slowly coming to a head. Everybody's starting to see that this man, like we get ready to play in this video, you're gonna see that he didn't withheld some of the words of Yahweh Shai. You're gonna see some of the things, like when Phil asked him a question, you gonna see in his eyes he's getting ready to tell a lie right when he answered that question, right?
Con.
So there's some things that's basically he erred from the faith. And then here go another precept. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 12. Because we're not saying that not to go out and go get money. There's a way to that. So cause like I'm getting ready to read it. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 12. It says, "For wisdom is a defense,
Mm.
and money is a defense." Okay, so money is a defense. What is that defending you from taking, paying your bills so you won't get evicted, paying your light bills and so on and so forth. That's what the money is for. But he said, but the excellence of knowledge that the wisdom gives life unto them that have it. Okay,
Mm.
so even
Con.
though Nate actually have the excellence of knowledge, but he's not spreading that knowledge around. He's not telling the truth. So he's not giving life unto them that might have it, or unto them that might have that seed in their mind. He's not giving, basically planting watering that seed, which is that living water, using that living water so that man can plant the seed so he can grow in the faith as well. So he's withholding information. So you got a lot of people that watch that video. How many views that video had? At least over 1,000 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that was a lot of people right there, man. So he basically withheld a lot of information in the video, man. So man, that's all I really had on that point right there, man. It's just to show you
Con.
that, man. It just show you who the Lord is really dealing with.
Con.
Con, man. Beautiful points too. Beautiful points.
So I'm gonna get to that video. By the way, Shalom, Shayin Yahawada, and Shalom, I am a believer. Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
See if I can get this video back up. I think it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna play it. Let me throw some scriptures in. Let's see.
Phil, we are a forgotten people. We are a forgotten people. So if I want to share something with the people. I want to
Can y'all hear it out?
28.
Yeah.
Let's give a brief.
Okay.
All right. Let's open it with Deuteronomy 28:15. I just want to give a brief synopsis on what we, the Israelites, teach. And I want to say for the record, we are not a hate group. We are a love group. We love our people. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So this was on the continent of Africa. Most people, believe it or not, Phil, a lot of Christians believe that.
All right, Salaki Akim, but I gotta say something about that, man. So he said that this is not a hate group, right? This is a love group. Now the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, if you love me, keep my commandments. And the commandments is to what? To cry loud and spare not, right? To rightly divide the word, so on and so forth.
Yep.
So when you're coming in, so when you're coming in and saying, we come in Christ, that's basically hate, because that's not the name of our Lord and Savior, which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Going back to what was the opening scripture to the Lord, to the testimony, if you speak not according to this word, there is no light in him. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, and I want to chime in too on that. I don't see how that dude can say that when you got Romans 9 and 13. It says, for Esau I hated, Jacob have I loved. He also said in Malachi 1 and 3. And we was commanded to prophesy against Mount Seir. So that right there, he just gave a false statement, man. When you really get into the gist of these scriptures, because even King David said, I hate them with perfect hatred. So if you really think about it, there are a group of people that, the Most High hate, and we hate too. We always talking about this devil, Esau, Edom. So he went off on that, saying that. Like, we're not, and he come in that plantation Christianity spirit. He try to come in like, the sweet baby Jesus spirit. We love everybody. We're going to accept everybody. That's just not true.
That goes into what is it? Proverbs 11:1, and it says a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
It is
And going
delight,
back to what you said, Tay, that you said that IUIC comes in that Christianity spirit. And what does Christianity teach? God is all love. You know, Jeebus Christ is all love. But according to the scriptures, Proverbs 11:1, that Yahweh hates a false balance. Let's get a precept on that. Proverbs 20:23. Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. So when you say that you're coming in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, basically you have to say we're coming in the spirit of balance. You know, you can't just say it's all about love or it's all about hate. It's a balance, you know?
I like how you put that. There's things that we love in the truth. There's things that we hate in this truth. You know? So that's what I say. He got to tell the whole truth, man. He only giving you a partial. And I'm going to bring out a precept that's going to cut what he's talking about. This is our King David. This is Psalms 139:21. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? Am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. So we're commanded to hate our enemies, man. We're not commanded to love our enemies, man. And I can see him using I want is that in Matthew where it said love thy enemy? I can see him using that to make us coax, you know, Yashrala into loving their enemy, man, which is gonna really set them up for their destruction, set them up in their grave. Because you got Sirach tells us, do not trust your enemies. So Nate, man, he coming in with that confusion. Love everybody's spirit, man. He's setting his people up, all the followers, like we talked about earlier, up under him, man. He's setting them up to be, they're going to be right next to their enemy, man. And they're not going to take heed of their enemy. And that's going to lead to that early death right there. And that's following that false blind leader. Because we just seen right there, I didn't know dude came in that spirit. That was a new one to me, like that love everybody. I said, this dude, he getting worse and worse every time I see him.
Yeah. Waxing worse, man.
And then that's back you up even further on that when you talk about that love your enemy. That's talking about loving your enemy as it within your Israelite. You know who's a fellow Israelite. That's what they're talking about. Like just like when Kamala Harris brought up, if you get that jab, then you'll be considered loving your neighbor. That ain't what that meant. You know, loving your neighbors is your fellow Israelite. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that point out, man. So. You know, loving your enemy meaning the loving of your fellow Israelite. Y'all might not see eye to eye at this point, because you know it's going to be division among Israel on this side.
Because you got your hopeful elect and you got your 2/3. Right. They're not going to come together at all.
And that's why. And that's why. So not to cut you off, because like when we go come with loving the 2/3. That's why we try to tell the 2/3 to come back. That's showing love to them. We're not trying to go back and tell the Esau. We're not trying to tell Hamite to come back to the Lord. They are our true enemies. We don't care about them.
That's the heathen.
Yep.
And like I said, Nate didn't make no distinction in that lesson he just did with Phil of the heathen, man. He lumped us all together. He didn't show like that we're Israelites and they're Hamites. He didn't like Yahweh was about division, you know. So when you're going to do this thing in truth, man, you got to highlight the division so our people, the sheep, the flock, know who they are and who the rest of the people are. You can't lump us all together, and then that's basically coming in that Martin Luther King Jr. spirit. Yep. Lumping us together with our enemy. And that right there, to me, that destroys your sheep. You don't put wolves with your sheep and then think you're going to have some sheep. That ain't going to happen, man.
I got to back you up on that. You talked about that. There's a difference between a Hamite and an Israelite, and it tells you in the book of Exodus. This is Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7, and it says, "But against any of the children of Israel, on a dog with his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord Yahweh the difference between the Egyptian and Israel." So that's it right there in a nutshell. All dark races are not the same. You know, we have Elam, you have Elamites, right? So-called Indians over there in India that are darker than us. Are they so-called Negroes? No, no, so on and so forth. So in the book of Exodus 11:7, which is basically, it's really not that deep. It's telling you that Yahweh Shem Yahushua put a difference between a Hamite, in this case an Egyptian, and an Israelite.
Man, and I got that piece of information that I shared on the screen right there. You can share it if you want to, cause that go dive even more deep into what you just said.
Let me add that to the stream.
Yeah, you just did it right there. So right there, what it's talking about, right here at the top. Hold on. Yeah, right here at the top. At the top of it, it said the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, Ham / not the Negro. And it says right here, it said Ham is the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro, but the Egyptian, Ethiopian, Libyan, and Canaanite. So that you know that's just to back you up that it's just 2 different dark races, and you see
So
that
this is about
uh
Huh.
and Nate went and through this lesson he didn't mention that, man. He didn't even say nothing about that because he was catering to Phil on that on that whole African diaspora website, you know. Basically
Yep.
just like what Tay said earlier, he's trying to protect his investment, okay, for filthy lucre's sake.
Because that, like, I like how you brought that out. That's very good information to bring out, and really, that's the number one thing our people need to shed light on, so we can start being holy. Because we've been always fed down our throat that we are Africans.
Right.
They've always told us Africa sold Africans into slavery. So the first thing you got to do is, like they said, Nate could have brought this information you brought out, man. He didn't try to touch it at all. Like I said, he just pandering, you know. Like, man, you said the best right there, man. They just trying to, you know, feed his belly, because that right there is the first thing you need to wake our people up. Because the lie is, like you said they said in our name, African American. They trying to make us seem like we Africans, like with that Black Lives Matter movement. When we see that abomination statue, that big head African looking statue, like, come on, man. So our people are in gross darkness, and they need light shed on that. Because you got to come back to the fact that, and look, his whole pose is supposed to be we Hebrew Israelites, but yet he don't teach we Israelites. He had a prime opportunity, and he totally glossed over that through the whole segment.
Yep.
And eventually, he put it out there like we are Africans.
Man, and that's the crazy thing. That African diaspora, that whole platform, Phil get over 1 million followers. He got over 1 million followers. You know how many hopefully less he could have caught if he would have brought that information out? But he didn't. So, you know, and that matter of fact, that's to bring another precept, because you know, Nate, he gonna get his judgment, man. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 23, and in verse 1. It says, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 2. It said, therefore, thus said the Lord power of Israel against the pastor that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So, and that goes back to what Tay just brought up earlier, you know, that Matthew 15 and 14, let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind. Okay, because the Lord is gonna come and visit them, and guess what? They're gonna fall right into that ditch. Anybody that's following these wicked groups. So you got it, Akim.
I want to chime in too, because what Nate is doing, he's been a respecter of persons. If you really think about it, Akim, he's been respecting a person. He's respecting Phil's platform. He's giving big respect to him because he knows he can get more money. He can get paid bigger by bringing in more, you know, worldly heads. You know, he's looking at a head count. More heads, more money. So I got this is Proverbs 28 and 21. To have respect of persons is not good. For a piece of bread that man will transgress. So that precept right there fit Nate to the teeth, man, because he's looking for that bread which goes into money. You know, so he respects Phil, and he doesn't want to hurt Phil's feelings. He's not trying to cut Phil, so he gave Phil he giving Phil everything he wanted her. You know, he's pandering to him. You know, because like I said, he's looking to get that money up. He's looking to get more subscribers, more followers. Cause like you said earlier, Bayon, Phil got 1 million something followers, so he's looking to bring them in with a feel good sermon. Hey, blinding them because he ain't giving them no light. And he's doing that by being he respecting Phil, his platform, his persons. So he's not gonna preach the thing for the truth's sake. He gonna tell Phil and his whole congregation what they want to hear in order to bring them in to make more money. Because I remember if we watched the thing, he gave out the email address, he gave out their website. Basically, he was basically advertising, man.
Yeah,
I was like a commercial.
Hey, matter of fact, if you watch, man, before, because Phil was trying to close it out in the video, and he was like, "Hey, Phil, can we show the we don't want to be making like we just talking." So he's showing how he's showing a part of IUIC how they got other members that they're building more houses and buildings. So what? It was a school actually. It was a school.
Yeah, it was a school.
So, like. Man, that's a carnal mean right there, man. Because the Lord, how about you outside? He said he's going to destroy this place, and on top of that, he's going to put Israel at top. But he's showing that he's helping out, Hamites. That's what he's doing.
Yep.
He's helping Hamite build up their community. When Hamites are going to be into captivity, up under the Israelites.
God, and I'm gonna go even deeper what he was doing. When he talks about it, look at what Nate's doing. He's building a school. That school is a building. In that building, he's going to do what? He's going to use it as a tax write-off. And I bet you to go to that school, I bet you got to pay a fee, And then, he's going to get scriptures. The Most High said, I don't dwell in temples made by hands. There he go again, going off, making a place, a temple. Basically, he called it a school, but really it's a church. He's making a church. He's going to charge money. It's going to be about some money. And you see, he's doing like Esau, like you said earlier. He's spreading out like a Green Bay tree. He's spreading this darkness out all the way on the whole other continent. So this dude, he's following right after the ways of Esau Edom. Everything how Esau Edom set up they little, filthy churches. He's doing the same thing, man. And like we said at the end, he's showing, we building this school in Africa. Which really, it was a church because he's going to be preaching all that nonsense he just did on the show in that church. And he's going to charge him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's more money he's going to bring in. More filthy lucre.
Yeah, I got that precept that Jeremiah mentioned earlier, man, because he was trying to spare Phil Scott's feelings, right? Was that Isaiah 58:1, where he said, "Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet." Okay, that basically when you cause that's one of the commandments that Nate actually did not do on that platform. He spared Nate Phil's feelings. That's what he did, and the Lord said not to spare not. That was a commandment. Okay, and he said, "Lift up our voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression." So he did a good job by showing the people the transgression because he mentioned what was that that Deuteronomy 28:15. He brought that out because he let the people know by saying that we went off, we didn't follow the commandment. That's why we call it the title of this lesson, "Pick the meat out of the bone." That was a part of the meat that let us know that our people went off. Okay, and he said, "In the house of Jacob there's sin." Okay, so by Nate doing all of that, he showed himself to be a hypocrite through that whole process, and just like Tay just said, that's going to keep people in the dark. He's basically spreading darkness out like the Green Bay tree.
I like how you said called him a hypocrite too.
I got a scripture in Micah.
Go ahead.
Salakia, I got a precept in Micah because going back to Nate preaching for filthy lucre, to get his followers and so on and so forth. Like you said, advertisement, right? Advertising. His you said he's building a church or something like that, building a school, so on and so forth. So this is Micah 3:11 that says, the heads, right? In this case, it would be the leaders of these camps. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets therefore divine for money. And that's what these so-called prophets, these so-called bishops, lieutenants, captains, so on and so forth, these titles, these vain titles in these camps are doing. They're preaching to fill their own belly, while at the same time shedding the blood of the innocent who are trying to, seek salvation through this word. Now continue. And it says, yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? So basically that's saying is they're trying to say like, hey, yeah, we got the scriptures down, we got precepts down, we're looking the part, we got our fringes on, we got our robes on and so forth, saying like, hey, the Lord must be with us because we're spreading out through the internet and attracting all these the simple mind, right? So they're saying the Lord must be with us. But it says upon the Lord and say, it's not the Lord among us, none evil can come upon us. And when you think about that, that's going back to what Nate said about it's June, there ain't no microchip, and that there isn't no Jacob's troubles. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But we know in the book of Jeremiah, it says, alas, right? Roughly paraphrasing, that's going to be a time as never before, even the time of Jacob's troubles. So that's prophecy. So him saying that there's not going to be no evil coming among us is going against the prophecy, which again, leading the blind into that ditch and also filling their bellies for filthy lucre's sake.
Yeah, man. I actually got another precept to back you up, man. I think Tay, you actually quoted it earlier, but I'm gonna start at St. John. I'm gonna start at verse 10. It said, "The thief come not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." And that's basically going back to the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The Yahweh Shai actually sent out his prophet. So we come in the volume of the book just like Yahweh Shai, because we applying the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But anything outside of that is nothing but a thief. And that's basically what Nate did, because he's basically robbing people for their money. Okay. And then verse 11, and it said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Now, can you honestly ask yourself, is Nate actually giving his life for the sheep? Okay, I remember you was telling me about how the Passover, there was brothers in the Passover, they had to pay just to go to Passover through IUIC. Like,
they had to pay the $200, and it was in Orlando. So he charged him to even go to their Passover. So
see,
that show you how much he cared about him.
Right, and then here it go right here, verse 12. For he that is an hireling and not the shepherd whose own the sheep. Salata, let me read that again. For he that is an hireling and not the shepherd whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catches them and scatters the sheep. Which is goes back, because Nate, like just like when Nate said there's no Jacob's trouble, that mark is not the, that the charisma is not the mark of the beast. He's going to see the wolf coming and he's going to flee, and that's going to scatter the sheep. In verse 13, he said, the hireling fleeth because he is a hireling and cares not for the sheep. So that's basically, he basically he cares for himself, man.
Yep, beautiful, brother. I Am Believer just put out a beautiful precept here. I'm gonna see if I can put that on the screen.
There you go.
Yep.
It says, this is Acts chapter 8 and verse 20, and it says, but Peter said unto him, thy money perish with thee, because thou hast thought, that vain opinion, that the gift of Yahweh may be purchased with money. And that's beautiful, because I got a precept on that, man. I got a precept on that. This is James 5, and I'm going to start at verse 2, and it says, your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it will fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. And this is basically saying that, yo, when you reap these riches, this out of carnality, you're going after that incorruptible crown. You're not building up the treasures in heaven. You know what I'm saying? So you're not seeking salvation, and at the same time, you're not seeking salvation of the sheep. You know, you're not feeding the sheep. So basically, what? You're going to Esau Edom for his gold, doing the work deceitfully. That's a beautiful precept by I am a believer in Yahushai. Shalom, Yahweh, Yahushai.
I got a precept to back that up even further. You just quoted. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, chapter 6 and verse 19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt it, wherefore thieves break in and break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal, nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." So that that's to prove that Nate, he basically, that's where his treasure is. That's where his treasure is. He worried about that money. He's worried about things that's right here on earth. Whether as you can read Colossians 3 and 10, it goes hand with that. Set not your affection on things on earth, but set your affection on things above. Loosely paraphrase or something like that. That's at Colossians 3 and 2.
I got a precept that's gonna go perfect with all the precepts y'all brought out, man. It's gonna be spot on to what Nate is doing right now, especially what you were just talking about, y'all. And this is Deuteronomy 16 and 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. So right there, hey, he's not like Nate's not giving good judgment because he's looking to pander to Phil and his congregation. So that's what the Most High said, don't be respectful of persons, because you got to think about it. Yahushua didn't pander to everybody. He didn't pander to the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the worldly people. And he let it come out. And he cut it straight dry. Hey, threw the cuts out there. If you was edified, you was edified. You wasn't, you wasn't. He didn't care. He said, I do the will of my Father. This is my Father's doctrine. So, and I like it said, neither take a gift. See, Nate looking for that gift. He looking for that bag, And with that bag, it blinded his eyes and the eyes of the wise. Anybody that's trying to come in to get edification, are looking for wisdom. And he said, and pervert the words of the righteous. So this word that we have is pure and is righteous, And Nate, he's doing just like Esau. He's perverting it, to twist it and make it fit his narrative. Or he's looking like he'll give you partial truths, kind of like the serpent, because that's what the serpent did to Eve. The best way to tell a lie is to mix in a little bit of truth. So you give partial truth. Those are the best lies, Akim. So if you think about it, Nate, he coming in the same steed as the serpent. And like Eve represents it, Yasharala, that woman, because we was compared to a commonly delicate woman, So right now, hey, if you think about it, Nate is doing the same thing as the serpent right there, man. He's subverting the houses. He's speaking smooth words to the woman, and he's basically telling her she should not surely die, and she gonna be a god when the opposite is true.
Hey, Maya, Baba Kushai, man, can you play that video just to prove Tay Yasharala's point again? I think it was about at the I think it was like at the 30-minute mark or when Phil asked him that question, and he was basically trying to spare Phil's feelings about, Hamite being our enemies. I think it was like the 30-minute mark if I remember right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the 30-minute mark right now. Skip to that. See if I can get through there.
Well, these scriptures are spot on, man. It's marking these dudes perfectly.
And you're gonna see, because on that part you're gonna see Nate, you're gonna see how he gonna lie about it, man. Like you gonna see the way his eyes was, when Phil asked him that question, just like Tay mentioned earlier, he how can I spin this lie again?
Yeah, you can see it in his face.
That lie.
His whole continent showed it. His whole continent. You can see it all in his face. Like literally, he about to throw up a lie real quick.
And this is how you can make, and this is the perfect example, you know, when for those who's on the common board and actually paying attention, this is how you make discernment between who actually are following the words and who's actually telling a lie. You know, this is what a liar actually look like.
And he looked just like old Deacon when he was lying.
Yep. Hey, I say that all the time, man.
Yep.
I say that all the time, man. Matter of fact, I would say the truth. I would say like the lie cannot exist without the truth.
Con.
All right. See, I'm gonna play it here. This is at the 29-26 mark, so I'm gonna play it from here, Akim.
Okay,
Don't mind. All right. Press and play.
100%. Well, I spoke to a few business leaders in Ethiopia, and I asked them. I said, "Well, why are you dealing with China now?" And you know what he said? He said that the reason why we're dealing with China over the United States is because the United States come in, they want to get involved in our affairs. They want to bring in LGBT, and we're just not for that. Especially in Ethiopia, if you've been there, you know how strictly Orthodox Christian they are. Very, very conservative environment, I will say. And they say we're just not for that. So the Chinese, they do loan us the money, but they just don't get involved in our affairs.
Right. I remember I was reading some time ago how China's relationship with, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Zimbabwe, where they built Zimbabwe's airport, and Zimbabwe's unable to pay China back. So now China owns the airport of Zimbabwe. They also help run their police force in Zimbabwe. China just bought Jamaica's water ports because Jamaica could not pay back the money that China had loaned them. It's a trap. It is a financial trap. The way Kwame Nkrumah said it, he said it's neo-colonialism. This is a new form of colonialism, and China is following right behind America's footsteps.
But do you believe that the African continent will turn around? Because there's a group of young people on that continent right now that I believe they're going to be part of turning that around. But what do you believe in that?
Well,
Yep. Y'all see his eyes right there?
Yep.
Proper teachings, and they can come together. I do believe that, but they got to come together under the right mindset.
Right. You want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, I'll chime in on that one. You see right there, he why are you even worried about Hamites and Furs? That's not even our nation. You see how he was all about, I think they'll come together. And under this, like, he should have told Phil right there, like, those are Hamites. That ain't even our people. So we're not concerned with, and we don't even want Africa to come back. That's part of our enemies. But see, that's what we was talking about earlier. He had to pander to Phil, and he had to do the lie. He had to like sidestep, and he had to incorporate that together. And I think in the part that the clip you just played, he just said all come together. See, that's the Most High's not with that. He's with division. We're supposed to be holy. So that was again Nate going off and really shedding a lot of darkness on that,
Mm-hmm.
And he's concerned about the nation, a whole nother nation that's against us, that sold us into slavery. Who care about if they country come back? We worried about the nation of Israel. We worried about the kingdom of Yahweh Shai and nothing else. So that shows right there how like the Spirit of the Lord is not with that man. He's doing too much mixing together with the world. Let's tell you, he made a covenant with the world. He's all concerned with politics and things of that sort. Yahushua wasn't worried about that. He didn't care about anybody else's kingdom. He was only worried about the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of his father. And that's how Nate's supposed to be. In that steed, not this, I'm going to get political and I'm worried about the welfare like of Ishmael and Ham and Esau. Like, come on, man. That was off to the extreme degree right there.
Exactly. I got a precept in Sirach chapter 3 and verse 23. This is also fulfilled too, because Phil is always worrying about, these freaking Hamites, everything like that in the trials and tribulations and how, Israel can unite with Ham, which is against the scriptures. And it says, be not curious in unnecessary matters. And you said it. You said we don't care about Ham. We only care about the lost sheep. All right? That's what we're saying here to do. It says, be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are shewed unto thee than men understand. So, worrying about what's going on with Ham and their trials and tribulations and their afflictions, and trying to unite, Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, blacks, right? Hispanics and Native Americans, that's an unnecessary matter. That's something that we should not be focusing on, And on top of that, just for edification purpose, right? Because you know how Ham is always going through some type of affliction. They're always owing somebody, or the land is always being robbed and pillaged. If you go into the book of Genesis, in the 26th verse of the 9th chapter, actually, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna bring out, I'm starting at 25, and it says, this is Noah, and he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." And he said, "Blessed be the Lord Yahweh of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant." So, just for edification purposes, that's basically why Ham is going through, the trials and tribulations that they're going through, But going back to what you said, we don't care about what Ham and what Moab and what Elam and all these other nations are doing. We only supposed to be focused on the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Just wanted to throw that in there.
I'm gonna bring out another precept because, like you said, Matthew 10 and 34. Yahushua ain't coming back for peace, man. He coming back with a sword. And that sword is division. See, right there, Nate was backpedaling and scared to call division right there. So he wasn't coming in the steed of an austere man. He wasn't coming to preach his word and his purest doctrine. He came to, pervert it up to keep, his name good, keep it all good. He came in there, I love everybody's spirit. Okay, this is Sirach 17 and 17. For the division of nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion. And that's the only portion we're concerned with. You said it beautifully. Like Yahushua told us. He said, go into the lost sheep of Israel and preach the word. He didn't say go and make sure, Ham doing all right. Make sure, Ishmael's little stuff is doing good and, don't hurt nobody and, make sure everybody come together in harmony. He didn't. This word ain't about that. And see, you got to be an austere man, I see, to even handle this word properly. Because you can't come in that spirit of I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings and I don't want to ruffle no feathers. You got Yahushua ruffled up all the feathers. That's why everybody was mad at him. Everybody's talking, everywhere Yahushua went, he caused the uproar of the people because the doctrine, he handled it with, austere, harshly, like put it out there like, man, it is what it is. He didn't try to sugarcoat nothing. He put it out there like, hey, it is what it is. So that's the steed we coming in. We ain't coming in that. You got to think all the it's division. He had the chance right there to highlight that, and he chose to, he always did what TD Snakes do, because TD Snakes would get him with the same answers and get the same responses. So there's no difference I see from Nate than TD Snakes. What's the difference?
Yeah, I got another precept, man, which is the book of Salati, man.
I need to tell you something.
Okay, hold on, Salati, man. I got the kiddos over here, but I got the book of Isaiah, just to go in on Phil, because when Phil asked Nate that question, would African be turned around, which is Hamite, would the Hamite be turned around? And the true answer to that question is no. But Nate, he lied and said they would get turned around, right? So this is Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 3. It said, "For I am the Lord thy power, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom." So that's showing you right there who is Egypt, the Hamite, right? So the Hamites are going to be under slavery. They're going to be under subjection under Israel. And it said, "Ethiopian and Sheba for a deed." So all of those Hamites and everybody else, they're not going to get turned around. their economics, all of that stuff is gonna be up under us because they're gonna be suggesting under us. So I just wanted to bring that out, man, just to clarify that, man, because Nate, he should have brought that out in this video and he didn't.
God, because you should have showed, like, that's why him going through all this financial struggles and all that stuff. Because look what they did to the Most High's people. They said he should have brought the crimes they did to us. You know,
Yep.
he didn't want to hurt, Phil's feelings, and he didn't want to like get no negative reviews to his congregation. He looking, say nice things. He want them to like put money into IUIC.
Mm-hmm.
He looking to recruit, because the bigger he recruit, the bigger that bag is, and that's the only thing he worried about. That's why he preaches in the way that he preach, which is straight BS to us hopeful elect. Cause we like, dude, hey, ain't no light in you, man, at all. No edification. Like Nate can't preach to me, man. He can't edify me. Because it's like I've ate the role and he's not really giving me what I need to prepare for what's coming. He's coming in there, and I can't stand plantation Christianity. He's in that same spirit, I vomit that stuff up. I don't like it at all. I didn't like it when I was younger. I don't like it now. And he's blending everything together. That's why I really like, man, like I said, people that like want to stay in plantation Christianity and still want to say the Hebrew Israelite, that group is perfect for you. If you want to party and look at everything in a festive spirit, that group is perfect for you. If you're not serious minded, and like you say, like GMS Alabama said all the time, you want to be an Israelite here in Babylon, that group is perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to die within that group. Because, like I said, he's a hireling. I can see Nate. When stuff get heavy and hectic out, he probably got a bunker already. Nate is going to bail on that whole congregation.
Yep.
And when they need him, he's not going to be found.
It's a good precept here. It's a good precept here by I am a believer in Yahushua. And it says, this is Jeremiah 23:28. The prophet that had a dream, let him tell a dream. And this is a dream, man. This is not the truth. That everybody's going to be gathered together and Ham is going to turn and none of that. And he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. And this word is this doctrine. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord? That's a beautiful precept. So that's basically describing what Nathaniel is pushing out there. He's giving his congregation a dream. You know what I'm saying? You talked about him building building the school, having dance-offs in the car, having dance-offs when we in times of Jacob's troubles, telling them that there's no Jacob's troubles, telling them that it doesn't matter what the Lord's name is. Those are dreams, man. Those are dreams and not truth. Beautiful precept by the brother, I am a believer in Yahushua.
Shalom.
Shalom. Also have a precept because Phil was bringing something about Ethiopia all the time, right?
Yep.
So check this out. This is a judgment that's going to happen on the Ethiopians. Zephaniah 2:12. And it says, ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. So that is a judgment that's going to happen on these Ethiopians that Mr. Phil in his African diaspora, you know what I'm saying, is trying to unite with, which is just plain foolishness, man.
Yo, I got a precept to back you up on even on that further, man. Salaki, man, I had the kiddos, he kept bothering me.
Okay.
But this is actually 2nd Ezra chapter 16 in verse 1. I'm not sure if y'all read this yet, but it said, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourself with cloth of sack and hair, beware your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. And it said, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive it away? Okay, and that's talking about all of our enemies, including Hamite and Asia and your so-called white man, your Esau Edom. You know, all of those people that had a response that was responsible, according to Psalm chapter 83, that put us in subjection, that put us into captivity, which is
Mm-hmm.
goes back to Revelation. Was it Revelation 13 and 16? You know, he that lead into captivity must go into captivity, right?
Revelation 13:10.
13 and 10, kind. So yeah, so yeah, all of those people that had a hand in our captivity, they're gonna be under subjection under us.
God, and look, that was beautiful because everything that Nate had the opportunity to bring up, but he didn't. That was a very far precept you brought up because you basically just brought out the judgment of what Ham is going to go through. And really, they would have answered Phil's question why Ham is in such a bad predicament now because Ham about to get that sword on them. Because you think about it, Moab, he just basically said it. They owe Moab money. So Moab fire up and get ready for World War III. Ham is gonna get part of that sword. You know? And see, Nate didn't touch none of that at all. You know, he straight pandered. And those scriptures is spot on, man. And see, that right there, that could have been edification for Phil's people and his people as well. But see, they don't know none of that. That's why when I talk to a lot of the IUSC people at my plantation, it's like they're at a very entry level, man. They don't hardly know no in-depth breakdowns, precepts, or nothing, man. He got them straight fattened up for the slaughter. I'll be looking like, man, I can tell they're not really reading their word. A lot of the members are. Because if they did and the spirit was in them, they'll get away from him. You know? Which one of the members I talked to up there did. And we see certain men they do come out of IUIC. Certain men do get away from Nate. And it takes the spirit, it takes the reading the word, because once you read the word and you ate the whole roll, you put it to Nate, you're going to see he's totally adverse to how the scriptures tell you how we're supposed to handle this word.
Yeah, that was beautiful earlier. Right.
Yeah, he come with the armbands on, the fancy garment, you know, he's a little temple set up, you know, he got the whole thing that's pleasing to the eye. Like, what you got your armbands on and all of that for? Like, what? Everything this dude do is carnal. He's appealing to you.
Yep.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I was just thinking about that, man. That was beautiful.
All right.
I think.
Hey,
I got Salati. I got another precept that's to back that up too, man. Because you know that this cuts out that Jeremiah mentioned this earlier, man. The Lord loved everybody's spirit. I think Tay, you mentioned it too, with his 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 56. It says, "As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel." Okay, and they talk about when you read the book of I think it's Amos chapter 2 or 3 or 2, where it's said that you have I known, and it's talking about Israel. The Lord said, "You have I known," but the other nation is nothing but a drop of it's nothing but spittle to him. Okay, so that's proving that Nate should have brought out the fact that the Israelite is going to rule the whole world eventually when Yahweh Shem Yahshua come back.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And a lot of these Christians and Catholics don't know that, man. And if you read that to them, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, what? That's not my God. No, that's the Apocrypha. No, I don't believe in the Apocrypha."
God, you bring out all kind of you cut them up in the regular word to cut their stuff for like he loosely paraphrased Revelation 13 and 10. Ain't nowhere around that. Somebody's gonna go into captivity when the kingdom of heaven come. You know, and through the scriptures you can find out who that is. And it's these heathen nations. But you go to Psalms 2 and 8 and it'll let you know that. And see, ain't nowhere around that. That's why I say Esau's cornered, man. The Roman Catholic Church, all that feel-good philosophy, plantation Christianity, is dead. It's straight dead right now. And that's why, to me, Nate looking dead in the water. Because he's still trying to keep that alive. But when anybody with the spirit in him and light come to him, hey, like especially when the brother GMS get up on him, hey, he get back in the corner, you know. And then he always want to go to the law. You better keep the law, but yeah, here you is all super edged up, cleaned up. You ain't keeping the law perfect. So what you talking about? He
Hypocrites,
always
man.
divert. Oh, and this is another thing I don't like about Nate. He always do. Anytime he get cornered like that, he always bring up money. He always call them GMS bum Israelites. They
Yeah,
bum.
man.
I'm
And
like,
it's
all
obvious,
this
man.
money talk.
And that's crazy thing, man, because I know some of the brothers, man, I be watching some of their lessons, man. They be at work while they doing their lessons. Man, some of the
Yep.
brothers, you can hear a truck in the background. You can hear all kinds of stuff. Then that goes back to the 16 that the Lord hates, false
Mm-hmm.
accuser, okay? Because you calling them bum with no proof. And on top of that, you can clearly see in these brothers' video that they be doing videos at work. So you calling them bum, and that's basically you're making yourself to be a lying tongue right there. And that's a part of the 16 that the Lord hates.
A lying
Plus,
tongue.
to chime in too on you, if you think in his rhetoric spitting that, Yahushua at one point was homeless. He said the man of the Lord has no place to lay his head.
Yep.
So what you talking that, you to talk bad about Yahushua. So he's sure he's in the spirit of a Pharisee and a Sadducee. Because you can see Nate was in that stand back then. Because now he talking about money talk bums. You'd have thought that about our Lord and Savior. Because
Yep.
what? At one point he walked everywhere, he didn't have a home. So what is your house y'all bum too? You know?
Yep.
You had no big bag. You gonna call Lord Savior a bum? That's why you can't talk that money talk, man. It makes you look real, to me, real suspect. I don't want to hear that. Oh, and really, he said, like you brought up, the men do have jobs. We grinding to get our daily bread. He just talking that because he got the big bag. So he basically saying, like, why listen to them? I got more money than them.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
Because he ain't got the righteousness. He ain't got the light. He ain't got the Rakakadash. All he got is the bag. And he basically saying, like, man, you gonna listen to them dudes, they broke. You know, they ain't got no millions like I got. They ain't building schools in other countries. You know, he basically come with that celebrity talk. When celebrities get cornered, that's what they do.
And then that goes back to what you said earlier, like when he goes into that worldly view. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think that just because you got to have money, that automatically put you in a higher status. But that's not according to the word of the Habashim Yahushua. No, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So when you think like that and you think that some person with money is at a higher status, that doesn't mean that he's righteous. You know, it's a lot of celebrities that's wicked as hell that got a lot of money. So you gonna put that man above you just because he got that money? You know, that's another worldly point of view.
Well,
hey, the poor man's wisdom is despised.
I got something to back both of y'all with that. This is Sirach 40 and 26, and it says, riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both.
Woo!
There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help. So that's it in a nutshell, man. Who gives a damn about worldly riches, man? Wisdom is above all riches, and also wisdom is the creator of all things. If you desire riches, desire that wisdom. You know. Also wanted to go into the book of Malachi because I think Tay said something about calling us bum Israelites, so on and so forth, man. There's no edification in that. There's no wisdom and there's no knowledge in that. So this is Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. So if you're coming in the steed of a prophet, of a priest, right, of a person of high status in the congregation of the Lord, you're supposed to just preserve knowledge in your mouth and let things be unto edification. But check this out. This is describing, Bishop Nate and Sakari, so on and so forth. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the Lord of hosts. And that's basically what Bishop Nate is doing and the rest of these camps are doing. They're causing the congregation to stumble at the laws by giving what? Partial truths and mixing it with lies. Verse 9 says, therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, right? According as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law. And Nate and all these other Sakari and Deacon Sakari and Gorilla Hebrew, so on and so forth, are being seen as base men, right? Being base men means men without knowledge, because people are actually seeing right through them, and especially the hopeful elect, because now they seen what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua was saying when he said, what? Not all of Israel are of Israel. You know, that there's brethren that crept in unawares that will keep us into bondage. You know what I'm saying? Bring us back into bondage, roughly paraphrasing. So when you have these camps out here, you know, that's doing that, you know what I'm saying? You said, one of the brothers said that you got to stay away from them, you know?
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
and I got that precept. I got another precept just to back you up on that, because you said not everybody that's Israel is Israel, right? And it says, this is Psalm 101, Psalm chapter 101, verse 5. It says, whoso privately slander his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that has a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Okay, and that basically, I'm gonna break that down. He said, "Whoso privately slander his neighbor." That's basically Nate. You know, he's slandering his neighbor. He's slandering his other fellow Israelite by calling us bums. You know, because we not worried, because we so called don't have a 501c3. You know, so on and so forth. And then said, and the Lord said, "Him will I cut off." So you're gonna see eventually. That's why when Tay brought that scripture up, let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind, he's gonna cut him off. So if you following that man, you're gonna get cut off along with him. Okay? And he said, and him that has a high look, he got that high look, and a proud heart will not I suffer. So the Lord said, I'm not gonna suffer. I'm not gonna deal with you when he says that. So I just wanted to break that. That's just to back you up what you were just saying, man.
That was Yappa, man. That was
Beautiful.
spot on.
Beautiful. Any other parts of this video? I'm gonna start playing it.
I think it. I mean, if you want to play that part where he was I think it's toward the end. I mean, even because the majority of the video, because he did bring out some good stuff in the video. As far as like the information proving that Yasharala was in Africa, and proving that we was all scattered out to the four corners of the earth. That information was pretty good. That towards the end of the video, where Tate mentioned it, where Nate was basically showing how he was doing more carnal needs, like when he was building that school and stuff like that. I guess you can play that.
Yeah,
I'm
let
not
me
sure.
see. I'm trying to navigate to that part.
Yeah, it's toward the end, because basically he was advertising.
Yeah.
He's putting it out there.
Yeah, that go right there. Yeah, you just pass it
This
out.
video here, right?
Yep.
Right,
Right there. Yep. Right about there.
Starting to load up.
Con.
Yeah, he basically was advertising for his school.
Wise.
And you think about it, he went to the perfect platform to advertise that, because he's doing it in Africa, and he's over here on a African American platform that panders to Africa. So I got to think, hey, that dude, he's slick. Well, he think he's slick.
Yeah.
He went to the perfect platform to promote what he's doing. When I think that's the whole reason he went on there.
Come. All right, let's see. I don't know what's going on. He's so messing with this now, man.
Yeah, I got it. Why you letting that precept play, man? Tay, you just said something that came to mind, man. That made me think of this precept where cause you said when Nate is he think he's slick, as if the Lord ain't gonna see him, right?
Con.
Which is the book of Sirach. chapter 23 and starting at verse 19. And it says, Sirach chapter 23 and verse 19. It says, such a man only fears the eyes of man and knoweth not the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of man and considering the most secret part. He knew all things ever they were created, so also after they were perfected. He looked upon them all. This man shall be punished in the street of the city where he suspected not, he shall be taken. Salatu. Well, yeah, man, that just to kind of back up what Tay just said, man. You good, you good. You know, that kind of back up what Tay just said, man. When you said Nate think he's slick, but Lord's eyes is 10 times more brighter than the sun, man. And that means his angel is coming on those chariots and he's constantly watching almost every 24 hours, 24/7.
Perfect. Because like you said, perfect. If we see it, you know how about y'all shall see it. If we can see it,
oh man, yeah,
you know we ain't never servants, and I see through this dude clear as day. So we see it, you know. Hey, the Most High part already ordaining something real crucial for that dude.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna bring out a quick precept. Come again,
Oh, I was saying I'm gonna have to bring the video back up because it's moving way slow. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, bring out that precept.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a precept that's gonna kind of like put where Nate's mindset is at, you know, where most dudes' mindset is at that's after that money, man. This is Ecclesiastes 10:2. A wise man's heart is at the right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. So right now, that's right there, Nate, really, he on the left side of Yahweh Shah because he's not coming in sincere and he's not sincerely feeding the sheep. Now, if Nate was wise, because we all know that filthy lucre, that money, the Federal Reserve note is going to be valueless in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude done did a great disservice to Yahweh Shah for really what's going to come really to nothing. Because Esau's gold and silver is cankered. So the money they gave this man to teach Yahshua to go off is basically about to be useless. And basically he going to see that everything he did was basically vanity. It was all in vain.
Which
see where his mind is right to his heart. He's not on the right side of Yahweh like Yahweh Shai is. He on the left because he doing the work of the serpent. He doing the work of Esau. Then I'm gonna bring out why, you know, a lot of people, he has a lot of sway. He got a lot of followers. IUIC got a lot of members because they are worldly. This is Ecclesiastes 10:6. Folly is setting great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Mm-hmm. And see, that's another cut to Nate right there, man. The rich sit in a low place, man. So why you always coming with this big money talk and we bums and all of the sorts, man? They said the rich sit in a low place. So really, he should have came in the steed of being lowly, but he doesn't come in that steed. He come in that steed of pride. I got the bag. I got the money. Yeah. You know, who are these other guys, man? Look at their garments, man. They bums. Man, they broke. They live paycheck to paycheck. We over here building schools in Africa, man. Why be with that organization? Come be with this organization. We got the bread. You know, we making big things happen over here. You know, he's very worldly and very carnal, and like that understanding is brought out the scriptures right there. It highlights him and shows him what he is, because he's not coming lowly. Like Apostle Hart still drive Uber, you know, he still work. Like a lot of people look at our elders and be like, man, I ain't about to listen to these broke poor dudes, you know, but they don't know, like, hey, they got the most wisdom. Them the richest man really I see on the face of the planet. You know, they real rich because they got this the proper breakdowns of this word, and they can bid you to the wedding, you know. And then living waters, it breathes life. Nate is giving you death, because everything that's, you know, magnified and glorified here in Babylon the Great is going to become the not. So he's really putting you in the steed where really he giving you a sacrifice of fools, man. He's giving you everything you need to destroy yourself, man. He's making you chase the glitz and glamour, man. He's like I said, pull pimp, pimping. You know,
Con.
look at my jewels, look at my armbands. You know, my clean edge up.
I got a beautiful precept to back you up on that, Ak. And Salakia Akim and Akwath, for some reason on my YouTube, it's not loading the video. It's not even loading up the screen. So I'm gonna throw out this precept backing up the brother Tay about IUIC in their attire. It says, "Beware of." This is Salaki. This is Luke chapter 20, and I'm gonna start at verse 46. And it says, "Beware of the scribes which desire to walk in long robes and love greetings in the markets, in the highest seats in the synagogues, and the chief rooms at feasts." So this is describing especially IUIC that comes out in this fancy attire, you know. Verse 47 says, "Which devour widows' houses, and for a shoe make long prayers. The same shall receive greater damnation." So that's basically telling you the judgment of these camps that just come in to be seen in the eyes of men, that want to be seen as great men, you know, in the world instead of men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
God.
That was spot on. That was perfect, man. Because that fits Nate to the T, man. He got, when I look at him, he got that Stranger Pearl on. You know, I don't recognize him. I don't see no light. Can't edify me. Whatever. Oh yeah, go ahead, bring that out. Perfect precept.
That's beautiful precept by I am a believer in Yahushua. This is Luke 14:11. It says, "For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." And we're coming humbly in this word. You know, we're coming lowly. It says what? That the princes sit in a low state, right? The folly is set in great dignity, but the rich are in a low state. So that means we are the rich. Right now we're in a low steed, but we're building up our treasures in heaven. So when that time of judgment comes, you know, Lord willing, that we can stand in the judgment and be on high. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful precept.
Yeah. That backs up what Tay just said, man. You know, when you said the elder apostle to hard, you know, he still drive you Uber, you know, elder apostle Gabar, Ramla, all of them, man, all those brothers, man, that just show you that they sit in a low place right there, man. They humble themselves and they come and they teach the word 100% the truth, you know. It's the truth. They bought me out of the world, man. And that's all I ever listened to.
They said, and that precept basically let us know Nate's fate. You know, he's going to be a base pretty soon. Right now, he riding high off the hog. You know, he got the bag, he got the money, he making avenues to increase his bag. You know, more business ventures. You know, I can tell you, he's all business minded. He all about business. You know, earthly things like that. So he's going to be a base pretty soon. Because really, if you think about it, when Esau go down, he gonna go down. Because that's who he made his covenant with.
Yeah.
So he attached it to him. Really, he's Isaiah 13 and 15 all day long. He's joined up to Esau.
Yep.
And this remind me of a parable that Yahweh Shah spake in the book of Matthew chapter 13. And I'm gonna start at verse 3. And this is Yahweh Shah when he was talking to the multitude, okay, and he said, and he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seed fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. And he said, some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forth they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. All right, and then he said, and when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and it choked them. But but others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, and some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Who has an ear to hear, let him hear. Okay, so And a lot of these some of these seeds, like the seed was uh like in verse 7, when he said, "For some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them." That represents Sakari, because they basically choked up all of those lies and trying to tell, Apostle Tahar and them to step down, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
you go to verse 4, where he said, Salakia, verse 6, and he said, when the sun was up and they scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. That is IUIC right now. Okay, you can see they slowly, at first they was in the truth, and now they slowly withering away. The sun is about to scorch. They roots is not deep in the
Con,
earth. So I just wanted to bring that parable out, man, because that's exactly what all of this remind me of.
Con.
con.
So yeah, man, the seed, man, and that's why when you read in verse 9, it says, he that have an ear, let him hear." Okay,
Con.
so out all of those thousands of people that Nate had a chance to reach out to, Lord willing, they be able to, reach, come to the men of great millstone and like-minded brothers to so they can reach out and get this truth, man. This is the way the scripture is supposed to be broken down, not the way that Nate did, because it's supposed to be
Con.
100% true. Nate just basically did a little bit of truth there, and then he put his own little spin on, just like Esau did, just like
Con.
what Kamala Harris did, just like the serpent. The
Con.
serpent came just like how the serpent came to Eve in Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 through 5 specifically.
Con.
Con. Coming with that, like you said, we talked there earlier, coming with that forked tongue, man, that double
Uh-huh.
talk, man. You
Yep.
know,
Gotta,
telling, double minded. That's being double minded too, man. That's why, hey, his stability is about to be taken away because he doesn't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. So when it comes to the end, this thing comes to a head, they're gonna see that their dude wasn't really a real leader. That's not the good soil over there.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
See, check this out. This is Sirach, chapter 34, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. And it says, "Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail." And this verse 6 says, "If they be not sent from the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them." So breaking those two down, these divinations and soothsayings, right, and these dreams, which in the video that we just put up, creating that dream of so-called African Americans and Africans uniting and building something, right, and also having that
Mm-hmm.
respect of persons in judgment, right, giving those smooth words, right. If they're not sent from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, so that means if it's not according to this word, then you're not supposed to be following after them. Blind leading the blind. And it says in verse 7, "For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them." And like you said about Nate's gonna fail, man. When
Mhm.
all these prophecies hit him in the face, he's gonna fall with Esau Edom because he made a covenant with the heathen, as it says in Second Maccabees. But there was
Mm-hmm.
certain Israelites, wicked Israelites, right? That made a
Wicked
covenant.
Israelites.
That made a covenant with the heathen.
God.
Yeah. Hey, Baba Sutai, Jeremiah, can you share my screen? Because when Tay actually
God,
mentioned,
got you.
he got a fork like a tongue, like a double tongue, right? So if you go into that meaning, what double language mean, right? Let me see if
Got it. You can see it.
yeah, I got it right here. Let me click on it.
Right.
Yeah, see the meaning of double talk. Okay, the definition of double talk: language that appears to be earnest and meaningful, but in fact is a mixture of sense and nonsense. All right. So that's what Nate did throughout that whole video right there. It was some things that made sense, and then he also spoke nonsense, right? So I got
God.
a precept that goes into that, which is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 8, which it says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways."
Beautiful.
So when you really think about all of that, man, which actually goes to that precept, man. Matter of fact, Jeremiah, you actually put that precept on my comment board a little while back, man. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and 37.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
And it says, let your communication be yeah, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than deed cometh of evil. Okay. So if your answers is not straightforward, then anything outside of that is evil. Okay. Just like Renee, none of his answers was straightforward. He was a double-minded man, so that makes him unstable. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that out just to drive the point even further, man.
Con. And
Yeah.
even on that too, like you said, he was double-minded. Now, throughout the video, against Salakia, Akim and Akwa, I think it wouldn't load. But what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna put the description, the URL in the comment section, and you could guys, you can skim through it. But he kept saying so-called black Israelites and so-called black Christians, right? Which is which goes into what the Bible in the proverb, which was a curse, which was disobedience in the book of what Deuteronomy 28 and verse 37. But as we read in Baruch, it says that in the land of our captivities, we shall remember ourselves. Now we remember ourselves. If we remember ourselves to be Israelites, and we coming back to the Lord, such the commandments, seeking Yahweh Shem Shah 10 times more, there should be no reason why we still calling ourselves black Christians, black Israelites, because at the same time, in Jeremiah, what about the speckled birds? We were scattered through the nations.
Yep.
The heathen. So we're gonna look like the other nations,
And see, I like how you brought that point up, man. Because when you really look into that video, you see Nate over there. Yeah, your Howard Shy is blackity black.
Yep.
He's talking like that, right? And that actually discard our speckled birds who look like the other nations, man. So when you actually, so that's why. Matter of fact, I think that's Jeremiah chapter 12 and 9. Luke,
12
let
and
me see
9.
if I can.
I got
Was it with
12 and 9. You want me to bring that out? I got it.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
All right, this is Jeremiah 12 and 9. And it says, mine heritage is unto me, Salakia.
Yep.
This is Jeremiah 12 and 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Now, we know that what? That this is the Lord's reply. The Lord is actually talking to the prophet Jeremiah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about the heritage. Now, the heritage is who? The people, the Israelites. All right? We're going to be unto a speckled bird. That means to be scattered. Actually, I have that definition of speckled, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up for you right now.
Beautiful. Let's get that definition before we go into it, because we got to get the meaning of words too.
Yeah, I got it for you right now. If you share my screen, Baba Kashar, I think you already still shared it, huh? Okay, got it.
Yep, you got it.
This is speckle. The noun meaning of speckle is a small spot or patch of color.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, and the verb meaning is marked with large number of small spots or patch of color. Okay, and so and you going back into the meaning of speckle, it means different colors. So when Jeremiah said, my heritage unto speckle, that proved that the Israelites was also scattered, and it proved that the Israelites are going to look like the so-called white man, the Asian man. He's also going to look like the Africans, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when Nate is sitting here saying that the Israelites are blackly black, that discards the speckled bird.
That discards it. Yep. And
We have to
another
work.
definition, another word for that speckled is sprinkled. When you sprinkle
Yep.
something scattered amongst, if you sprinkle, sprinkles on ice cream, it's scattered amongst the ice cream. You know what I'm saying? So that's going back to our nation being scattered amongst the heathen, and we're going to look like the heathen. Why? Because the men mingled with the women of the heathen nations.
We're at the 144 mark. Call how long you how about you? I want to bring out something, elaborate too. What y'all do? It's a group here. We got in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Sons of Jacob, and like
Ah,
like Bayan know they be on the corner all the time. They'll use a precept where it says that we are black unto the ground to use and try to prove that we black. And they not. I hate how they use that precept to say that because they're misinterpreting that. When they say I'm black into the ground, it was talking about a move. It's not saying we're black. Because the Most High didn't even call Yahushua black. He said he was like burnt brass, skin like bronze. So I'm like, never did the Most High refer to us as being black, and they'll use that precept out of context to try to prove that we black. That's why I don't like Sons of Jacob, man. It's a very low level group.
I
They're
pulled that
like,
definition up for you too.
Come.
yeah, because they're like Naquan them, but like even more watered down,
Yeah, man.
even worse.
Yeah, see, and here go the definition of black. Of course, the first definition, the adjective, is of a very darkish color owing to the absence or a complete absorption of light, the opposite of white. Okay. Uh and it said, and of course they're gonna put, the second definition they're gonna put belonging to or denoting a human group having dark colored skin, especially the sufferer to her African ancestry. But the third definition we're talking, what Tay Yashua was talking about, it said of a period of time or situation characterized by tragic or disastrous event causing despair or pessimism.
Mm.
All right, and then but yeah, see, and then this is proven like the first definition where it says a very dark color owing absent of a complete absorption of light, the opposite of white.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, I'm trying to look at more of the definition real quick. Cause there's a definition that kind of speaks about. Well, hey, you got it, man. Cause I'm actually
So,
looking for that definition. You bring it
time,
up all
time.
the
Yeah.
time, Tay.
So why you looking that up? This is why we're not supposed to call ourselves black, man. Because when you think about it, here in Babylon, everything that is black is what is symbolized or illustrated as wicked and evil. You know what I'm saying? The bad guys always wear black. The good guys always wear white. You know what I'm saying? So when you're taking on this Bible and the proverb, you know what I'm saying? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gives you over to that. So like for example, this whole black hip hop culture is nothing but wickedness. This whole Black Lives Matter, nothing but wickedness, man. They got that statue, that wicked idol. You know, a black culture what promotes adultery, it promotes homosexuality, everything that goes contrary to the scriptures. This is why we do not associate ourselves with the term black. This is why we don't call ourselves the Black Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to call ourselves by a byword and a proverb, which was a curse. We're in the land of captivity, and we actually in the times of remembering ourselves and also being in prophecy, edifying the sheep, so on and so forth. So we're past that, man. We're no longer in the dark anymore, man. We have the light, which is the law, and we're gonna walk circumspect and put off the old man, put off the old conversation. Calling ourselves black. Singing that old song that God loves everybody and the heathen's gonna be saved, and we got to unite with Ham. You know what I'm saying? All that bull crap rhetoric, man.
God, I'm gonna share my screen. I got the etymology meaning of black. Baba Shah, can you share that screen real quick? I'm gonna pull it up because in that Marian dictionary, Esau gonna change the meaning up, because they of course they control the whole world or whatever. So here you go right here.
All right, let me put it on the screen. There we go.
All right, so right here. Okay, right here. Right as you can see, I'm about to highlight it right here. Meaning fierce, terrible, wicked is from the late, 14th century. Figurative sense come from the notion of without light, moral or spiritual. Okay, so you calling yourself black, this is what you calling yourself. You calling yourself fierce. You calling yourself terrible. You calling yourself wicked. You know, you calling yourself lacking of moral or spiritual sense, wicked, malicious, okay? All of that stuff right there. So this is the root meaning of black, the etymology. This is the history, the first beginning of what black actually meant. But throughout the times, Esau, you'll cover that stuff up. He changed things up all the time. So, because that's the first definition I was in the Merriam Dictionary. This right here is the etymology.
I figured you have to go to that to get the root meaning of the word. That's why I go to the etymology and not the dictionary, so I can go look more back, man. Black, really, when you call yourself black, you're really cursing yourself.
Come.
I see they use James Brown. What's that song? Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. They use the music. They use all this stuff to get us. Really, you think about Esau put the curses right back on us. He got us to curse ourselves. Yep. And then, like, when I think, loosely paraphrasing, I want to say it was a ruler. I wonder what was it? Antiochus, Epiphanes. It was one of them rulers that said, you can't get them to go off, but you can get them to curse themselves. And you think about it, that's what Esau did to us here in Babylon the Great. Our people, majority of our people curse themselves. They call themselves black.
Yep.
And do it with pride, which I want to get to, like Nate, man. A lot of our people have this pride on them. They don't like to be rebuked. They don't like to be reproved, and that they can't be reproved. So it's like they just got to get their judgment from Yahweh Shah. They have to come back on the other side. And then with Esau, when you get that big bag, it just makes you more prideful.
Yep. Yeah,
you're not gonna come back.
And then the minute you get that bag, you become more blind, and then you're gonna lead the rest of your congregation to be blind as well. It all trickled down. And that's the precept that goes into the what is the head? The head is filthy or something like that, and then the rest of the body will be filthy or something. Loosely paraphrasing.
Yeah, what you saying? If the whole head be sick, so will the body.
Yeah, that's it right there. The whole head be sick. Yep. That's the precept. I'm trying to look that one up real quick.
Like I said, that's why this thing starts in your mind, because your mind is that door. That's that gateway for Yahweh Shah to sup with you. So if I can get to your mind and get you to call yourself black, get you to curse yourself, and give you a false philosophy, I pretty much got you. Like the precept bring out, once your mind is gone, the body's gonna follow the mind. Yep. Because in your mind, that's where your spirit dwells. And I noticed he said life is in the power of the tongue. What comes out your mouth is gonna let you know what's on your mind and what's on your spirit, which we can tell where Nate's mindset is at. It's about getting money. Very easy to see that. His mind is not set up on the kingdom of Yahweh. He hardly even talk about the kingdom of Yahweh Shah. He always talking about what we doing now to set stuff up. I rarely ever heard IUIC going to the kingdom.
They're not kingdom minded.
Feed your belly and what we gonna get right now on this side. Build schools, get fancy garments, get a bunch of wives, like I said earlier, have a bunch of dance-offs and party. Never does he talk about the kingdom. Never do they prophesy about the kingdom. I rarely ever heard.
Yeah, and I got that precept what I just loosely paraphrased, man. This is Isaiah chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 4. It says a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord, Yahweh Shai. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Why should you be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. And that's basically because Nate is the head, and so the whole heart, back to his congregation, is the heart is sick. Okay, they're gonna continue to be sick as long as you keep following IUIC. You got to come out of there, and that's why when you come back to the true words of Yahweh Shai, then you're gonna be unsick. Then the words are gonna heal you. That living water.
That's the principle about earlier, because Yahweh Shah is the good shepherd, and when he said, "I come to those to give those life."
Mm-hmm. Yo, another good thing that was in that Isaiah 1 and 4 is like the ending part when it says they are going backward, and you said, you know, we know that we're Israelites, but yet
Yep.
going backward is what? Calling ourselves black again.
Con.
Going back to the curses, like Tay said, cursing ourselves. That's going
Mm-hmm.
backwards. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Well, I'm a black Hebrew Israelite. Come on, man.
And
You
then
know?
he also disregard the name of Yahweh Shai. Shai. He's calling on
Mm,
Christ. He
yep.
going back to idolatry.
Uh-huh.
Con.
Yeah.
And what
So
make him
yeah,
look
man.
bad, he used to teach the names.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he knows the truth. So he preaches lies on purpose to get the bread. To me, that's a capital offense right there.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, man, what's that? The Lord is a jealous. That's another reason why uh the Lord is gonna get him, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you read Exodus chapter 34, that's in the law. Let me pull it up real quick. Exodus 34 and verse 14, and it says, "For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord Yahweh Shai, whose name is jealous, is a jealous power."
Huh.
Okay, and that talk about when you calling on Christ, when you calling on Jesus Christ, you're calling on another God, that is idolatry. And the
Mm-hmm.
Lord Yahweh Shai, he just said it. He is a jealous power. So when he get jealous, and when you move a man, just like that the precept said, when a man moves to jealousy, his wrath can't be kindled or something like that, loosely
Nah, yeah.
paraphrasing. That's how the Lord Yahweh Shai feel when you
Yep.
calling on other gods.
Con.
John, I got one in John 15, verse 23, man, because you just said it, Bayan. You said that he doesn't even reverence Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He says Christ,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
it says, John 15 and 23 says, this is Yahweh Shai's words. He that hateth me, hateth my Father also. So if
Uh,
you're not reverencing Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that means you're against Yahweh himself as well. You know what I'm saying? You're making yourself an enemy of Yahweh. That's all to it, man.
yeah, man. And you know that what to think make me think about how he trying to enter in some other way. What's that?
Yep.
What's that? Yeah.
A thief and a robber.
Yeah. It's the same as the thief and the robber. Yep, that's it. That loosely paraphrase.
Let me see if I can get that. Because that's beautiful. It says thief
Yeah,
and a
cause
robber.
and cause Yahweh Shah also said, I
Yeah.
believe that was in the book of Matthew where he said, no man may come to the Father but by me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you calling him Jesus Christ, you're not calling his name. So you calling on Yahweh Shai. You supposed to call on Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's how you get to the Father, is through him. And the fact that you calling on Christ, which is idolatry, okay, which is another precept that said that the other guy would do nothing for you or something like that in the
Mm-hmm.
Apocrypha. Like, I mean, it's so many scriptures that we going into that just
Ah,
cutting Nate in that whole video, man.
Yeah, he gonna get that. Depart from me, I never knew you.
I never knew
Con,
you.
yep,
Come on.
yep.
Yep. I got that precept, Akim. John 10 and 1, and it says, Verily, verily, this is Yahweh Shai's words. Verily,
Mm-hmm.
verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door unto the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way. That means not going to the straight and narrow, not entering ye at the straight gate, but coming up some other way. The same is a thief and a robber.
Right. See, and that's the same as a thief and a robber, right?
Mhm.
So you got Nate that claiming that he doing the work of the Lord Yahweh Shemi outside, and you clearly seen it in that video. You watch the end of that video, he building, he's using monetary gains, he's using the lost sheep money just to continue building Esau kingdom,
Yep.
and he claiming that this is the Lord's work. So he's trying to come up some other way by doing that. And you can't do that. You have to go through your how about your shot. And he's calling on Christ. It's just so many things that he's doing, which is proof, which it goes into him being a false prophet. And that's what he is. You know, and he's one of those good liars, just like the serpent. Okay,
Yep.
you know that double tongued lie.
Con.
You got it, Akna.
Nigga
Yeah,
Nate,
man.
man.
Yep.
Like I said, if you think about it, he's coming the same state as Esau. Because what he's doing is he took this word and he's monetized it. He's using this thing for like a business. Instead of using it for a bridge for the salvation of your soul, he's using it as a means to get his money up. Like same thing Esau did. He monetized the gospel. This thing,
Yep.
what would it say? Freely given, freely received.
Get freely. Yep.
You know, freely received, freely given. You know, loosely paraphrasing. So
I'm doing this.
he's not following in that steed. Then he charges his congregation for everything he do, for all the services. You know, I know the whole ins and out because I'm not an IUIC, but it's a lot, like I said, to go to my plantation, and he charges them a lot, you know, for their services. So I'm like, man, this dude here, he's no different from a Pastor Pork Chop.
Yep.
That's an offering plate.
Yep, God. Yep, you know that offering plate they passed it 10 times. And that's why the so-called black church be going so long, man. You go to church for 10 at 10 o'clock in the morning, you get out at 2. They done been to pass that offering plate around 20 times.
Oh man.
Con. I used to piss my peoples off, man.
Yeah.
You spot on with that, man.
I got that precept Akim in Jeremiah 48:10. And it says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." And that's basically, you know, cutting up these camps, man, that just do the work to sell T-shirts and merchandise and have dance-offs and invite people to a $50 charge for the Passover and all types of stuff, man. You know,
parties
and
He's
all
forever throwing a party. They always got a party.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you said earlier, Tay, man, where you got to meditate on His word day and night, man. And if you don't meditate on His word, that means you got to go to somebody that's actually using the word, right? So just somebody like Nate, he basically in the driver's seat of your education of your knowledge of getting into the scripture. You have to drive yourself to the scripture, right? You can't be in the passenger seat trying to learn the word. Okay, so basically that means if you're in the passenger seat, somebody else's you putting your destiny into somebody else's hand. So that's why when it says meditate on the word day and night, that means that you have to study to show thyself approved. Okay, so these are the most basic things that you have to do just to get in the scriptures. And once you study to show thyself approved, then you can be able to make a discernment of who's for the Most High and who's not. Okay, this is just a lot of things this is why you have to, you know, meditate day and night, man. You know, all of these things it's just basic. It's basic, man.
Stuff,
man.
Hey,
you actually got to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
And that's so you can judge righteous judgment. Because if you don't know righteousness, how can you judge righteousness? And we get that through the knowledge, understanding of the scriptures.
Yep.
Come on, man. Spiritual man. I got that's beautiful that you said that. This is 1 Corinthians 2:15. But he that is spiritual, according to going to this word, judgeth all things. Yet he himself is judged of no man. And this is why This is why it says to say that show that self-approved, you know, rightly dividing the word. Because we're not supposed, you know, when we're in this truth, we're supposed to be on the dot, spot on, breaking down the scriptures in order to feed the sheep. We're not supposed to be just being double-minded, because that's going to cause us to be ashamed. That's going to cause us to be confounded. You know, then you're going to have, you know, the elders coming down on us, man. And we're not trying to have that. You know, this is why you said we got to sit and show ourselves approved and constantly meditate on the word. You know,
and we just showed an example of rightly dividing the word. How do you rightly divide the word? You break the word down, just like a mechanic. Look, a mechanic will look at a car and they'd be like, okay, he'll pull a piece out, he'll break it apart. Okay, this is something wrong with that. You know, that it's the same thing. Now, when we broke that word down black, why we shouldn't be calling ourselves black. We looked up what the meaning of black means. We looked inside the word. We looked at the history of the word, the use of the word. That's how you rightly divide the word of the truth. Okay, so this is why you got to, man, just study, just constantly study, repent. All of those things is going to help save you and get back with the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Come on. With the 2 hour mark. So any of Akim got some close out scriptures? We'll make this too long.
Yeah,
Man,
I
I
Hey, the
ran
spirit,
some
man.
other
Hey, the
stuff.
spirit's on you, man. You just gotta do it.
Yeah, this is like
yeah,
it's been 30 minutes. It's been 2 hours, man.
yeah,
We
God, yeah,
rolling, man. 'Cause, hey, they do. Hey, I like what Yahweh Shah is doing because all these other camps, man. Because the light is shining brighter and brighter. Because our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah is coming and shedding light. The word, like these dudes, it's getting so easy to see right through these dudes. I mean, real easy. I mean, it's getting clear. It's like he putting that eye salve in our eyes, man. The visions is coming in more clear, and they're waxing worse and worse, and it's getting plain to see. To where it's gonna get to the point now. If you're in them other camps, when Jacob's Trouble roll out, that's your lot. You had all the proof, all the time. You had the liberty, and you should see right through this dude by now. That's showing. If you still rolling with Nate and these other camps, you got the same spirit on you.
God. Yo, we can close out with that precept on the comment board.
That's beautiful. I see that right there. I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw that.
that's it right there. That's it right there.
See if I can click it on.
God, that's it right there.
Beautiful scripture here by I am a believer in Yahushai. And it says, this is Psalms 58 and 10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. The vengeance is the judgment. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. And we're going to what? We're going to have our feet on the necks of our enemies, especially in the kingdom. And this is what we're waiting for. This is why we making our bodies living sacrifice, putting our face out there, trying to do what we can to wake up the lost sheep, trying to do our best to walk in the Lord's statutes and commandments to the best of our ability, even though we're in this captivity, because we want to see the downfall of our enemies, we want to be able to be in the kingdom and basically rule, we got to have that rulership mentality, and this is what we're striving for. That's a beautiful precept by I am believing Yahushua. Shalom for that. The water.
Shalom. As a matter of fact, there's a precept to go good with that one in the Apocrypha. I'm just gonna loosely paraphrase it. We can close it out, but it says, loosely paraphrasing, the Lord said, a man that loves his children and he that lives to see the fall of his enemy. That's in the book of Apocrypha, Apocrypha.
That's the rock 25 and 7.
Yeah.
See, that goes perfect with that last precept, right? But man, that call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. That was so perfect, man.
I gotta bring that out. Since you brought that up, I gotta bring that out.
Yeah.
We gotta close out. This is Sirach 25 and 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th will I utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. Whoo, the water Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And with that, turn to the east. Give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Shalom to the Akim and Aqua who listen and learning. I want to, actually, how about you try to continue to protect y'all? Keep to the Akim, keep pushing this truth, keep doing what you can to be circumspect, walking the ways of righteousness. And to the Aquath, if you have husbands, continue to be good to your husbands, continue to be good women according to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And to my brothers, Bayan and Teyasharala, subscribe to their channel. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put their channels, put a link to their channels in the comment section. So check out these brothers' channels. These brothers got some good oil, some good wisdom. And with that, I'm going to say shalom, shalom.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.